Five, four, three.
Good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate. Oh, my feelings, even though you kind of missed last week, but oh, who cares? What is the Reel McCoy? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go and watch a movie. You watch it, come back to us, and we geek out on it, nerd out on it, break it down, and we stir it all around, just enjoying the joy that is movies. This week, we continue our Stanley Kubrick homage month, or gratitude month, or just giving some props to a guy that made some films that we kind of like, or not. We wanted you to go and watch Full Metal Jacket. We were supposed to have a guest. She is here. She is alive. She's not backstage. However, her net connection is kind of wonky. That's why we're kind of late. So I will keep her name on the title and I will divert you to her channel. Her name is Rhetorical Thrill. She does movie reaction videos for the first time. So she takes movies that she's never seen before and does a full-on reaction, and we're getting her like first take on whatever movie she watches. She was also a guest on my show, the pre-weekend back when it was actually started. So we had a full-on discussion about content creation, YouTube creation. We're both kind of in the same age group, and we're both kind of like, oh, we're married and have kids. So how do you deal with content creation and group and making with this whole YouTube stuff? So please, if you're watching this live or VOD, go and go to Thrill on Rhetorical Thrill on YouTube. Just click on the title, and it will take you straight to her channel. And go and watch. It's starting YouTube, so we're kind of at the same level, both of us. She's doing one thing, I'm doing my own thing, and it's all fine and dandy. So before we actually start the show, you can follow me on Twitter at Meffistoe. You can follow me on Instagram at Meffistoe79. You can always email the show at the Reel McCoy podcast at gmail.com. Suggestions, comments, likes, dislikes, and what have you, you can go there. Or, of course, comment section down below. Do whatever you want. Full Metal Jacket. How many times have you managed to watch it this week?
Once on the plane ride home, and then once this morning.
Nice. I've watched it once on Thursday, which I normally don't wait till the end of the week, but once on Thursday and another time today. Kind of skip through a few beats just to make sure I get all the talky bits done. Which was a little bit better than the 2001, which was a little bit horrible.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I missed last week because you and I would have had a very, very curt discussion about that film.
Trust me, Lofty and Nick gave me a whole bunch of... So Nick has never watched it, so we got that perspective. Lofty has watched it many, many, many times and loves everything about it. So we had a very good discussion. But this is not 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is Full Metal Jacket. And why don't we just jump into our first segment of the night, shall we? It is called Behind the Screens.
Sound production, take 2.
Behind the Screens is where we turn to All My Feelings and get the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, the production side. Take it away, my friend.
So it's really interesting. Originally, Stanley Kubrick, at a time, was working with one of his co-writers, Michael Hare, and they were considering actually making a Holocaust film.
Interesting.
But Kubrick actually wanted to go ahead and instead make a film about Vietnam. And he had actually read Gustav Hasford's novel, The Short Timers. Fell in love with it, and then decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and option it to make it into a film. Hare, his co-writer on multiple productions, originally refused because he had actually served in the Vietnam War. And he did not want to relive what he had gone through before.
So full-on PTSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it took Kubrick 3 full years to convince Hare to come on the project.
Damn.
Yeah.
So this has been in production since what, 84?
No, 82.
Damn,
It took a long time to you know how long this film took to make, right?
No.
Matthew Modine, Vincent D'Onofrio joked about this, but it was true. Matthew Modine not only got married, conceived a child, but had a child. That child was born while this film was still being shot.
Damn, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, that's
a lot.
Very, very, very long process.
Very apocalypse-esque.
Apocalypse, yeah. Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Apocalypse, wow.
Apocalypse, wow. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's a reference.
Yes.
Go on.
So Kubrick actually, before he went to Hare and Hasford to get their initial drafts of a script, he wrote a full treatment by himself.
Okay.
He had that in his back pocket. He had Hare, then Hasford write 2 different scripts.
And then he did an amalgamation of the 3?
Then he just merged them all together.
Cool. Okay.
Kubrick utilized not only his treatment, but the 2 scripts so fluidly that even the writers didn't know which parts were theirs.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Well,
Hasford and Kubrick met once.
Okay.
The meeting went so poorly, they never met each other in person again.
So all by telephone and actual mail?
Yeah, and actually at one point in time, Hasford got into some issues with writing credits. And
that old thing.
Yeah. There was almost a a potential bit about physical assault.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Was Kubrick kind of exemplifying his own self within the being a control freak and just dealing with everything around this movie? If you know.
Yes. Not as much as he was on later projects,
You mean earlier
especially Eyes Wide Shut. But he was pretty bad. And yes, yeah, rhetorical thrill, exactly. He was terrified of Haspard, especially after they met.
Right. Next.
So originally, Arlie Emery, which you obviously fucking Sergeant Herman.
Yep.
Probably like the most iconic role in this film, besides Joker, clearly,
Yeah.
and that's arguable.
Yeah,
And Gomer Pyle, but yes, but
yeah, I know. But you don't have Gomer Pyle without the drill sergeant.
yes, he was only actually brought on to be just a technical advisor. But he had, because someone else had actually already filled the role of Sergeant Hartman, who was oddly enough the door gunner on the helicopter.
Oh, the guy who shoots all the innocent people?
Yeah, he was supposed to actually play Sergeant Hartman. Yeah,
Wow. What a difference.
yes.
What a difference.
But he had actually so Arlie Emery had asked Kubrick, could I potentially I think I'd be perfect for the role of Hartman. Kubrick was adamant against it until Emery actually went to several of the cadets of the Navy and the Royal Marines were brought in as extras because this is all filmed in England, right?
I did not know that. I thought they were actually filmed in Paris Island.
No.
No? This was England?
Yeah. Because the Paris Islands, part of it was filmed on the Isle of Dogs, and then the rest of it is in different parts of England. Yeah,
Okay.
We're gonna get to that, but anyway,
Maybe that's why you don't really see too much of the base itself on the outside.
yes,
I just thought about it. Yeah, you don't actually see too much of the barracks on the outside. Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. You got me. You got me.
So he brought in. He actually had him film a dress down of the extras that were brought in from the British Royal Navy and the Royal Marines, of Arlie Emery doing a dressing down of them. And Kubrick was so impressed, he went, "No, we're recasting."
Damn.
And
Talk about
Kubrick was so intense about Arlie Emery's performance that he had to keep up his cadence constantly. He would have his assistants, while they were feeding back lines back and forth, throw oranges and tennis balls at Emery to catch them while he was saying his lines. If he could catch them 20 times in a row or repeating the lines, he'd let him say the line. Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
And which is crazy too is 50% of the dialogue that Emery says as Hartman was improvised by Emery, written in.
That little tidbit I actually know.
Yeah.
I remember from old interview that they did with him, like back in the early 90s. They kind of talked tangentially about whatever film he was making. They asked him a question about those, like working with Vincent D'Onofrio and everything. He's like, yeah, it's like he did not know what the hell I was going to say. And arguably the part where he sniggers while he the first sentences where he sniggers, that is actually because Vincent D'Onofrio did not know what was
the thing is too, like the whole thing with Private Pyle smiling and then starting to laugh a little bit was actually because Vincent D'Onofrio found Arlie Emery hilarious.
See, we've talked about this numerous movies where these happy little accidents, like Bob Ross happy little accidents, actually make like an iconic moment in film history because
Yeah.
it was kept in. Like the director kind of emphasized, I want this in, so it's in.
So, some casting things that happened. So, Val Kilmer was initially considered for the role of Joker.
Okay.
Backed
I
out.
can see that.
Then it went to Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis had to back out because he was starting production on Moonlighting.
Moonlighting.
Then it went to Michael C. Hall, but then after 8 months of negotiations, it just fell through.
Michael C. Hall is that old? Wait,
Yeah.
who am I thinking about? Michael C. Hall, is that the guy from The Breakfast Club, Michael C. Hall?
Yeah.
So he was supposed, isn't he young? Too young for that? Never mind. Okay. We'll keep going. Keep
going.
16
Okay.
Candles, Michael C. Hall?
Yeah.
But that came out 84. He was like yay high.
No, well, because he was in Weird Science when he was, God, was it 87?
86.
86.
You're
But
talking about the production that started in 82.
No. That was trying to get it made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheryl said Michael Anthony Hall.
Hall.
So Michael C. Hall, who's Michael C. Hall?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just
You meant Michael
I
Anthony
meant
Hall?
Anthony Hall. Yes,
Okay,
Michael C.
okay,
Michael C.
okay.
Hall, who plays Dexter. I completely messed up those names.
Okay. Now is everything good? Michael C. Hall is Dexter.
Yes.
Definitely was too young at the time.
Yeah, turn that completely around. That was
Okay.
my
Michael C. Hall is like my age, like 40.
Yeah.
He's 46. I'm 40, almost 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So, moving forward, Ed Harris was actually offered also the role of Hartman, but he turned it down, and he said it was the biggest mistake of his entire career.
I would imagine so.
Which I could see that.
Like younger Ed Harris would have been fucking good in it.
Yeah. And Denzel Washington actually had interest in the film.
As Snowball?
No.
As 8-Ball? There's so many balls in this one.
Yes, as 8-Ball. 8-Ball, yeah.
Man, would have been great. But,
Yeah,
you
but
know
he
what we
didn't want to come back for it. Yeah. So, interesting notes about it being shot in England. The primary shots, especially in the bombed out city outside of Da Nang, where they are, but before they go to is it the Perfume River? I believe that's the name of it at the end.
Yes.
Where it was actually completely bombed out.
I don't think it's Da Nang. I think it's Hue City.
Hue City. Okay.
City.
But where that was actually an old chemical factory.
Yeah, the buildings do look factory-ish.
Yes,
Not really.
and they were exposed to massive amounts of asbestos.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not a very safe work environment.
Yeah, but it's the 80s. Who cares?
And bringing in things, especially that's so funny, is how it was all shot in England. They had to bring in 200 Spanish palm trees.
Obviously.
And I kid you not, 100,000 plastic fronds.
To make it look like it's Vietnam?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, Kubrick actually had an entire set made and brought in from California, saw it on site, and rejected it.
Okay.
It's Kubrick. What are you going to do?
So budget-wise?
Full budget? Oh, we're going to get to that. Because the budget... as I keep going, you're going to go, wow, oh no. It keeps going.
Yeah, keep going. Man.
Ermey and the other actors would not rehearse together to make sure that they did not know what Ermey was going to say next. That's why you get the lines where some of them actually look kind of like just a little bit terrified of Ermey. Yeah. And that's why Vincent D'Onofrio was kind of laughing. Speaking of Mr. D'Onofrio, at the time, I think it's up to 2020, up until recently when Brendan Fraser put on the weight for the whale.
Yeah.
He held the record for putting on the most weight for a role that was not muscle mass. He put on 70 pounds for the role of Private Pile. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That also caused him some issues. When in the scene, it kind of plays into the character of Pyle as well, but when he's trying to get over the obstacle course where in the scene where Joker is taken over as basically the head trying to take care of him, and he's sitting there and he's like, just throw your leg over. He literally couldn't because he had torn several ligaments in his leg.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
So at least he wasn't run over by his own snowplow.
That's true.
Yeah.
Although there is a fun story about Kubrick and the fact that when he was driving through the English countryside, he was so taken aback by one bit of an angle that he wanted to use that he literally drove the Jeep that he and Vincent D'Onofrio and Matthew Modine were into a ditch.
Okay. Bet the insurance guys love
him. Yeah. A lot of the more like realistic stalling takes that they have for more of the combat scenes were shot using a camera with a shutter lens that was set off sync on purpose.
Okay. That's
Spielberg used the exact same method in Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I get it.
The Omaha Beach scene.
I get it. I get it. It just makes it more realistic because it's not fluent.
Exactly.
Yep, I get it. Let's see what Thrill has to say.
Rhetorical Thrill. Yeah, she is correct.
D'Onofrio filmed Adventure of Babysitting right before this, and he was peak physical shape for that one. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you notice that Joker's name is actually J.T. Davis, which actually is a deliberate reference to James T. Davis, the first confirmed U.S. casualty in the Vietnam War.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, you know how I mentioned the whole story about Matthew Modine and the long production about how he got married, conceived a child, and his wife gave birth? On the day that his wife was giving birth, Kubrick would not let him leave the set.
Because?
It's Kubrick. You don't leave set.
Damn,
Modine threatened to cut his hand so he couldn't be able to hold the rifle correctly and ruin all of the shots.
So he let him go?
So he let him go on the promise that he would return as soon as it was over.
Okay. She wasn't in England, I would imagine.
Yes, she was.
Back in California.
No, she was there with him.
She was in England? Okay. So
because the production was that long.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So you asked about budget.
Yes.
So it's different because there are multiple different speculations on what the actual budget was, ranging anywhere from 20 to 30 million. I'm going to go on the high rate and say it's about 30 million.
Okay.
It did at the time $120 million gross.
Okay. So not terrible.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, just a little 4 times on its investment. Not that big of a deal. Yeah. And it was actually Kubrick's first
million in 87 is roughly
God, I want to say it's like
4,300.
I want to say it's like 330, something like that. But
no, it's I'm rough estimate between two, so double and extra plus a little bit. So 240 to 300. ish. I can give you a full brief. So
Don't worry about it. Don't.
By the way,
It's
2001 made was 10 million budget, 146 million gross in 1968, which is technically 1.2 billion dollars in today's money, or in 2022's money.
Yeah.
So big difference.
Okay. Well, it's interesting that this is actually Kubrick's first film that was actually edited using actual computers. Before, he would actually just utilize linear spliced film in order to splice and edit.
Yeah.
Which would take forever.
It takes forever.
Yes. So, some of the other scenes that were actually just oddly enough that were cut. One is there was actually a scene that was shot that wasn't utilized. Joker with the prostitute.
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
Me Love You Long Time. Yes.
Yeah, Me Love You Long.
One.
The
Yes.
iconic.
Yes. And also the soccer ball scene.
Soccer ball scene?
Where Marines are out, they're sitting around and they're kicking a soccer ball.
Oh.
Yeah, it zooms in. It's a human head.
Human head. Yeah. I've heard about that one.
Yeah.
I heard about that one.
During one of the training scenes, if you notice, the one where they're doing the American Gladiators.
Yes.
Do you notice who Pyle is getting beat up by?
I don't remember if it's either Cowboy or Snowball, one of the other. No?
Hunter S.
Like, as in Hunter S. Thompson? That's weird.
Because Kubrick was a huge fan of Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, another fan of his. Wow, shocking.
Yes. And then the last one that's really funny that I think everyone would be like, "Art, can you believe that really?" So while doing research for just the soundtrack for the film, he wanted a song that would really encapsulate the entire film, and he fell upon Rolling Stones' "Paint It Black."
Yeah.
So Kubrick went through just listening to songs from 1961 and 1966 at the time, trying to get the just mentality of it. Prior to that, and hearing "Paint It Black" for the first time, Kubrick has gone on record saying that he had never heard the Rolling Stones before.
Really? That's really interesting because he's such a well-known artist and like supposedly strange and out there and stuff, and he never heard the Stones. That's weird. I mean, to be absolutely fair, almost every good movie that deals with Vietnam has a great soundtrack. Like there's
they're for
some of them get repeated, so we kind of it's like, oh, that song again or that song again. But in this one, it's like, yeah, one or two might be a joint. Maybe we're.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think any other one had the bird.
No, I don't think so. And the amount of stuff that was on was like, yeah, this sounds like a Vietnam era song, but I haven't heard it in any other movie. So we've got, remember, mid 80s, we got tons of Vietnam movies. So we got, first of all, we got basically Rambo or First Blood Part 2. Kind of deals with the aftermath of Vietnam. We got Braddock from what's his face? Chuck Norris. We got the Oliver Stone Platoon. We've got Apocalypse Now that came out, 81? 78? I don't remember. So around between late 70s.
Late 70s to the end of the 80s.
To mid 80s. We got a whole bunch of Vietnam movies, and they all have it in a very different. So Few of them are action movies. Few of them are like political, not political statement, but political kind of view on the war, on aftermath of the war. It's like every aspect has been explored. And in this one, I don't think there's any political kind of leaning.
Well,
There's
I think
Kubrick, who is anti-war or no, anti-establishment, doesn't actually give you his take.
I think it does in when we're gonna get to that the disillusionment of the soldiers when they're speaking to them prior to that last bit with everything in this with the sniper.
Yes and no. We might have a different view on that specific topic. Oh wait, okay. Before we dive deep into the stuff, we'll just go ahead and do our first segment of the night. Let's do a game. Let's have some some levity before we dive into the deep dark. Missing Marquee for the uninitiated is we take 10 posters, have their text written off, we display them in All My Feelings, and the chat will have to guess which movie this is. I think you'll have a pretty easy time today. And bablam.
Adaptation.
Oh, no.
I love that movie.
Oh.
And I know you hate it.
I don't like that movie.
The Aeon Flux.
Aeon Flux. Don't like that movie.
It's bad. Anaconda. Oh, God. I have no idea.
Chat, go ahead. I think the last time you were stuck on this one, too.
I don't remember ever even hearing about
It's
this.
a 2017 movie. Kind of, but not really, but kind of is La Femme Nikita, but not really a full-on adaptation. It's different in many ways. Paul has got it. It's called Anna. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh, Christine. Stephen King. Cowboys versus aliens. It should be called Live, Die, Repeat, but it's not.
Original title, I think it's called Live, Die, Repeat.
Yes. Is it Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow is correct.
How to Train Your Dragon. La La Land, which was boring.
And
it's
I need a specific title.
Yeah.
Chat.
We all know it's about the Wicked Witch of the West.
We know what's it all about. It's an iconic figure. It's from 1935, I think.
Yes, I know it's about the
figure itself.
Is it just Wicked?
It is not Wicked. It is not
because Wicked is the stage play.
No, the girl in the picture is I forgot her name. The girl from Black Swan and that 70s show. That tiny
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
That's Mila Kunis. The main guy is Seth Rogen's friend who was in Spider-Man.
Oh, is this the
I don't remember his name. I'm so bad with names.
It's James Franco, but
Yes. And he plays the titular role.
So is this just the Wizard of Oz? No, it's the Wizard.
Not the Wizard of Oz.
It's Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
You got that mixed, Paul, but I like it. I like the hustle. Good. There we go.
I will have to say though DK has it right though. That would be a great poster if they were to do actually a film adaptation of Wicked.
Could be. So we jump in from Oz the Great and Powerful to Vincent D'Onofrio, the Kingpin. This is the opening scene.
Yes.
And this, to me, is just the epitome of that song. You're in the army now. Whoa, you're in the army.
Yeah.
And if they would have put that song there, it would have been awesome. However, it would be not appropriate according to like the time frame in which they wanted to capture the moment. So this is like maybe late 60s, early 70s Vietnam, but you know, it kind of works. But it's it's real. It doesn't look like a wig. However, I think, have you seen how much hair Vincent D'Onofrio has? I never seen him with like big hair ever that I remember. Probably
Do you
the
know,
movie
well,
he did just before this one.
a small aside, after he put on the weight, Vincent D'Onofrio is noted as saying that he actually became really good friends with Matthew Modine and several of the other actors. Especially like he became really friends with Matthew Modine, Arlen Howards, and Adam Baldwin. They would go out to clubs at night whenever they could actually get time off set, and people were terrified of Vincent D'Onofrio with the way that he looked, and people would actually talk down to him as he said, "I think they thought I was mentally challenged."
67 because in the country set the Tet was 68. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, I remember it was right around the time. I know I should have said 68 because of 2001, but okay.
Yep.
Never mind.
And actually, Rhetorical Thrill is correct too. They brought them back to shave their heads. That's why some of them look like they're tearing up.
Yep. So, we got a full-on introduction of R. Lee Ermey. The man, the myth, the legend. He is such a legend. We lost him a couple of years back, I think, 2019, 18, 19, or 2020 at the start of it, if I'm one of those years.
And oddly enough, I don't know if you remember, he was actually also in another great film that we reviewed earlier. Well, last year.
He was. He was. I just don't remember which one. I remember we were talking about it, and then
Leaving Las Vegas.
Leaving Las Vegas. That's it. And we said that we're gonna see him again.
See him again in Apocalypse.
We didn't know we were gonna cover Full Metal Jacket by that point. I think
it's just like at some point in time. But also, what's interesting too is Joker makes his first John Wayne little ditty there.
2, I believe.
Oh no, there's way more than 2.
Way more?
There's way more than 2.
There's one in the paper when they have the little like reporters gathering, right?
Yep. Then the first time when he meets Animal Mother.
Ah, that's right. Like in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that the drill
I love the only line that we can really say without YouTube going, "Yep, you're shut down."
Oh yeah. You know what comes from Texas? Steers and queers.
No, I wasn't even saying that one. I was like 5'9". I didn't know they stack shit that high.
Yeah. No, I was like, remember when in 87 when this movie came out, queer was supposed to be a derogatory term. Now it's like it's a sign you hold on yourself. But
Yes.
Times change.
Come on.
I love the fact that he is not 5'11". He is not 5'11". But the fact that what I wanted to say is the fact that the drill sergeant has this sort of like interview with the men, and he's the one who's giving them the name. It's like the first guy he talks to was the black dude, and he's like, "Oh, you're Snowball." It's like, I've heard that name before, reference to a black dude. Oh yes, Django Unchained.
Yeah, it's not what they call an appropriate nickname.
Not an appropriate name. However, it doesn't matter. So Cowboy is because he's from Texas. Literally, there's a reference for it in Forrest Gump when he says Cleveland, he's from Detroit, and Tex, I don't know where Tex come from. Surprise, yeah. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, he's the one that gets like, oh, you made a joke. You're Joker. You're from Texas, cowboy.
Well, and as we had mentioned backstage too, when Hartman just punches Joker in the gut, it's like, no, that would
that does not fly in the Marines. That doesn't.
You cannot do that.
You can't do that. You can't. I was one. I was sort of our version of a drill sergeant. That shit does not fly at all. And it never did. Even my superiors. I've heard them talk about it.
Well, and as I told you, like if they could PT you to death, they could work your ass off. They can make you do anything besides physically strike you.
Yeah. And like we mentioned before, Vincent D'Onofrio did not know what was going on, and he was genuinely laughing. And this is what Kubrick kind of siphoned in. It was like, yes, that I can work with that. From that, you get the choking scene where Gomer Pyle, or he was given the name Gomer Pyle. It's
no, it's Private Pyle.
Yeah, but Lawrence, Lawrence something.
It's Leonard Lawrence.
Leonard Lawrence, which, oh my God, that's a bad name to have. But the fact that he's like, choke yourself, and he goes like this. It's like, no, use my hand. And he tries to touch the drill sergeant. That's, if you know, striking is a no-no. Touching the drill sergeant is
a superior officer at all.
No-no. Massive no-no. And immediately the smile kind of vanishes away, where he's literally choking himself using the sergeant's hand. And it continues. Of course, it's a series of drills where you see the escalation, or let's say the deterioration of Private Pyle, right? The more time passes, the more he deteriorates into, let's say, childhood. He becomes more of a child rather than, I don't know, you can maybe say, well, he was on the spectrum.
I would say most definitely that, well, he should have never been even considered for the Marines to begin with, because he doesn't seem like he has the mental faculties to begin with. He seems like he is definitely on the spectrum in a way that would be a detriment to any unit that he would be in.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the moment where he actually physically slaps him, right? He's like, oh, you don't know your left from your right?
Yeah.
And you're like, why are you hitting him? By the way, Rhetorical Thrill did a full-on reaction video to this, because she hasn't actually seen this movie before until recently. And you can see Thrill physically wincing every time there's an interaction between the drill sergeant and Pyle. I'm guessing there were more. She just couldn't put in more into the video. I'm just guessing, of course, but you can see her physically wince with not only with her face, but with her entire body. It's like, I can't watch this. I have to watch this, but I can't watch this. This is terrible. This seems to be like sort of a bully situation where the drill sergeant is bullying everybody. He's doing this to break them down into nothingness and then build them up to be, and he even says it, we want you to be killers, not robots. We want you to be killers. That's very, very profound. That it happens throughout any army, anywhere. When it's full-on basic training, they break you down, they make you into dirt, and then they pick you up, they fully train you, and they mold you into what their version of a soldier is supposed to be. I did it myself. it was done to me, and it was done to my superiors, and it was done, and my whatever people that I trained did it later on. It's just how things roll around in any army.
Well, it's supposed to be breaking down your individuality so you become part of a cohesive unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's more cohesive unit is when you finally get your gun. It's like you need to name your gun. You need to treat it as a woman, as your partner. But later on, the drill sergeant says it's your weapon is not only your partner, it's a tool, right? He mentions that it's a tool. The weapon doesn't kill. The heart kills. And we're training your heart, not your ability to shoot. Not only your ability to shoot, we're training you as a killer. We're training your heart to actually make the kill. Because when you're just holding a gun and shooting some stuff, that's just targets, right? To make sure you shoot people, because that's what you need to do. You need to shoot soldiers, basically, in a war. In order to make you this automatic killer, you need to get broken down, remolded, and shape your heart and your soul to make sure you do that kill. Otherwise, not only you die, the people around you
die. Yeah.
This is my weapon. This is my gun.
Well, that whole bit too. What's interesting is that whole scene was actually supposed to be shot with them all nude.
Really? What's the thing? Oh, because
that was an old actual Marine tradition.
To simulate having sex with a woman, basically.
No. It's to put the inference and also to cast aside your own humility, where you have to go. You know what? It doesn't matter who I am because I'm a Marine.
So stripping you from everything, stripping you from being a human, I guess.
Well, again, stripping away all of your individuality and all of your apprehensions and your shame, because you know what, you're not this. Like, so the case with just for Private Pile, like, you are not Private Pile anymore. You're a Marine.
I got the impression that the DI found Pile to be a personal challenge when he should have remanded him. There are no quitters in the Marines.
Well, and also you always find the weakest link in the chain, because again, they have to be a cohesive unit, so you have to either break or make that weak link strong.
Yes. This is my rifle. This is my gun. And I was mentioning this, not the actual creed that they all kind of said before they went to sleep with their guns. The fact that this is for fighting and this is for fun.
Yeah.
Like holding their dicks. Because, a rifle is an extension of your dick. It is dick shaped. It shoot bullets, which are phallic. Hey, I didn't invent this. I'm
aware. What's interesting is right before.
I'm getting to the Joker moment. Joker moment. Do you want to skip right to it, because it's kind of profound, because let me see. Let me get to that moment.
Yeah, because I think that's really the most the better telling of Joker's character, and also how he sees through all of it.
Yes. Even though he's in it and he's being, let's call it a team player. He's with the unit. He is becoming one of the unit. And the question here is, I think it's the Christmas scene, right? They sing "Happy Birthday" to Jesus, and when he asks him about, believing in God, and he says, "No, I don't believe."
No, do you believe in the Virgin Mary? No, I do not, sir.
Yeah. And I was half expecting Joker to say, "I'm Jewish," but he is an atheist.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in the Virgin Mary, but he doesn't believe in anything.
Yeah.
And
Well, and again,
Right.
his outright defiance to him by saying again, and I don't believe whatever I say is going to change. Or whatever, like if I were to try to give you a reason or try to reverse my opinion, you're still going to hit me again. So it doesn't matter what I say. And that's when the drill sergeant goes, okay, I see you. I see you.
Yeah, and the thing about this, he literally he's not defying the drill sergeant. He is giving.
He's stating a fact. He's stating like
fact without any emotion, without anything. He's explaining himself, but he's not questioning the authority.
correct.
Which means he has a quality. That quality is, you want to call it a leader, someone who can rally troops, someone who tells it like it is because he's ready to move forward and get everyone with him, which oddly enough gives him the, squad leader, right? He becomes the new squad leader, takes over from Snowball. However, he gets the extra responsibility of getting
Garrett
that
Pyle.
weak link and bringing them with the group because it's the responsibility of the officer, the commanding officer, I would say. Not technically the officer. I mean, whoever's in charge.
Correct.
And from there on in, we see a full-on sort of like drill sergeant D, but doing it in a more compassionate way.
Definitely.
Understanding Private Pyle, understanding what he's going through, and actually trying to show him how he can relatively easy do it with the entire group. So there's a progression there. However, the progression kind of stops.
Oh, the jelly donut scene.
Yes. I want to get to the actual jelly donut stuff. There we go. So it starts off with him not securing the lock, which is very tiny thing, but it kind of leads him into, you don't expect thieves around here, and he opens the thing, empties it out, and finds out he got a donut from the mess hall where he's supposed to lose weight because he's overweight. He's been not doing so well in terms of PT. And now he's to blame. Everybody else is to blame because the weakest link is weak. Mm-hmm. And everybody suffers.
Yep.
And he even says it. They paid for it. You eat it. Which is super profound. It's like you made the mistake. They're paying for it, but it's sort of in reverse. So if you already stole it, or not stolen it, if you've already taken it, take it all the way.
The way, yeah.
Don't half-ass it. Take it all the way. And which kind of leads into him either having a mental breakdown.
Well, they have the next scene where they're actually all doing. They're all we refer to him now as burpees. But and while Private Pyle is sitting on a box and he's sucking his thumb, which means he fucked up again, essentially. And then we have the soap beating scene.
I think the shooting scene comes first. Let me see. Nope. Yeah. Code Red. Let me get a good. Yeah, there we go. That's a good spot that I'm comfortable with, or not comfortable with. Have you ever had it done to you? No.
No, I had oranges in a sock.
I don't mean exactly like this. Were you hit ever with a soap with a towel?
No. It was actually an orange.
Okay.
Yeah. Same principle. Yeah.
This is called Code Red in the Marines themselves. Mm-hmm. If you want to know more about Code Red, go watch A Few Good Men. And tell me
that or maybe you're into Mountain Dew. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the soap scene was, if you were not prepared for the soap scene, for the Code Red scene, it is one of the most hard scenes to watch. Even though later on you see some like deep violence and shooting and people losing their fucking lives. No. This one to me was the most heartbreaking, the most gut-wrenching scene I've seen in, let's say, not all movies I've seen, but this one hit home for me.
Yeah.
Because I know why they did it.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
I know.
Oh, it makes complete sense why they did it.
And why Joker had to do it. Yeah. And this is the first of 2 times Joker was standing in front of a serious moral dilemma. To do it would mean one thing. To not do it mean a whole bunch of can of worms in this particular stage. And both cases, he decides to act and not stand back.
What's interesting is in both sets of circumstances, one character earns their 1,000-yard stare. If you notice, Pyle after this has his.
Yes.
And without having to kill, which Payback brings up later. Yeah.
However, Joker had got his stare, but
it's at the very end of the film. Yeah.
So we don't actually get to see it, but we kind of infer.
We infer that it happened.
Yeah, infer that it happens. And from then on end, let me get that. There's a weird conversation, right? There.
Yes, about Charles Whitman and Lee Harvey Oswald. But you can already see, but you can see right where Pyle is just.
Yeah, you could see gone. The stare is there. This is like the moment, and from this moment, it kind of activates his soldier mentality, and he actually becomes like a good marksman. He's standing at attention. He knows his lefts and rights, and he actually gets like praise from the drill sergeant from Hartman.
Yeah, because when Joker fucks up the lines, it was Pyle that gets them correct.
Yep, exactly. And not only that, Joker kind of realizes.
Look, because he's sitting there and he's talking to himself while he's cleaning his rifle. Yeah, it's like
he's like, I don't know.
And then Joker confides in Cowboy while they're cleaning the bathroom. Like, I think Pyle's a Section 8.
Yeah, I think Pyle's a Section 8. And of course, all's well that ends well. Not really. You get they're finished. They get their assignments. And
what's interesting is this was actually the last shot that they shot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
What's interesting is the first shot was the hooker scene.
Wow. Such a dichotomy between the two. Holy hell. Wow.
Yeah.
So everybody gets their assignments. The drill sergeant is surprised that Joker goes to be a writer. And it's like, dude, my name is Joker. He doesn't say it, but it's like, you gave me the name and you're surprised that I'm going to write for a living as a Marine?
Well, that's the only other bit that you get about Joker's backstory, too, is the fact that he wrote for his high school newspaper. Other than that, you have nothing but tiny little tidbits about every single one of these characters. Like, we know that Cowboy's from Texas. That's it. And we know that Joker wrote for a newspaper when he was in high school. That's it.
And we don't know anything about Gomer Pyle.
No, we know nothing about Pyle.
Nothing. We know his actual name, and that's about it.
Well, especially like all the other guys that we end up like the other was it like the other one that we get to know anything about was Touchdown, because he played football at Notre Dame. That's it.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, hey, Beth, he said the thing.
He said the thing?
He's the Full Metal Jacket.
He name dropped the Full Metal Jacket. named the Full Metal Jacket. It's like, okay, I guess. However, there's a shot where he sits down and Joker kind of puts the flashlight to his face, and you see him with that smile. I was like, hey, Vincent, you know that smile is going to carry you throughout your career
Oh,
in
yeah.
many different roles. It's like, holy shit. Talk about the 1,000-yard stare right there. And drill sergeant comes in, and at first he's like, okay, put your weapon. He is shouting, but it's like, put your weapon down first.
Well, he's first yelling at Joker, but like, why does he have a weapon? Like, sir, he has a full magazine.
Yeah. And the first thing he says, like, yo, you will put your weapon down and you stand down. And when he doesn't, he has a full-on rifle pointing at him, and he's like, you will put this thing down, you piece of shit. Pow! He shoots at him. And that's over. And we didn't want to see Ermey die that way. But and Pyle is so out there. I don't know if he has a realization moment that he's gonna be in jail for the rest of his life or whatever, and he just eats it. Just eats it right there and then in that bathroom.
And see, what's so interesting too is the fact that they could have ended the film there.
Yeah, it's weird because this is about
45 minutes, I think.
45 minutes ish into almost a 2-hour movie, with credits. So about
I think it's an hour 52.
52. Yeah,
it's hour 56 with credits, but it's hour 52 film. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically two halves of a movie where the first half doesn't really affect the second half apart from connection.
What's so interesting is Meth, a lot of people didn't see the second half.
Really?
It's reported that many people left after Vincent D'Onofrio, after Gomer Pyle just
Really?
Yeah, they're like, nope, I'm out.
Really? Well, that's really interesting. So we basically have one movie that is split apart. The second half of the movie, which is longer, but there's a lot more shots where there's no talking. There's
no dialogue, and there's actually a lot
ambience.
of levity. I mean, like, given the immense serious nature of the context of everything occurring in the film, there's a lot of levity for that first a good 3/4 of the second portion of the film.
I mean, even the first kind of scene is really like Joker is literally having fun with the whole situation. So he's with the Rafterman sitting there in whatever. She's like, me love you long time, me sucky sucky, fucky fucky, whatever, it comes up today.
And again,
origin, right?
I mentioned to you before, like how Arlie Emery's lines remind me of a Ministry song, and of course everybody knows this. It's fucking Two Life Crew.
Yeah, it's Two Life Crew.
Yeah,
and they made it into something like insanely popular.
Oh yeah,
and it comes from this. Me love you long time, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like Joker's having fun with it. Rafterman's having fun with it. And the guy came from behind because it's a sting. They steal that camera. And he goes onto this like kung fu style. And Joker is literally smiling and imitating him. It's like, he just stole a fucking camera, man. Not that he cares. It's like, it's not his, right? Yeah. It's not his. But the whole point of making fun of these people is just so weird, right? It's a weird little scene. And it's all feel, again, we've just had the most gut-wrenching scenes you can ever have. Intense, through like 45 minutes, 44 minutes of just sheer intensity, right?
Because as a viewer, you almost not only empathize with the new recruits, but also you're kind of waiting on bated breath to see what's going to happen next with them, because you're kind of going through boot camp with all of them.
Yeah. You're feeling the same moral dilemma that Joker feels before he actually hits Pyle. You feel Pyle's misery because you can see it, right?
Yeah.
You can see it. You can put yourself in his shoes. You can see Joker trying to help him out. You can put yourself in Joker's shoes when he's helping them out. And then you see this scene where it's like, okay, we need to like relax. We're in Vietnam, but there's no war. There's no nothing. There's just some hookers and some petty thieves.
No, there's the war, but he's on the safe side because he's on, he's on the journalist side. So, Joker's safe.
Yeah, we're not in the jungle.
They're not in the world of shit as as not only Hartman said, but Pyle said before that, like, I am in a world of shit. But then we have the small little briefing here, the news briefing where again Joker brings up his John Wayne impersonation again, and then that also how Raptor Man sitting beside him is going like, I want to get into action. It's like, no, you really don't.
Yeah, you really don't.
No.
And Joker has it. It's like, it's not like Joker was in the thick of things. He interviews a lot of GIs, and that's how he kind of knows. Yeah, not for me.
Well, but also you have to wonder too. We don't know what happened to Joker in the interim, because you notice that he went in as a private. He's now a sergeant.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, he's done some stuff, but he doesn't mention that he was. Again, they say to Joker later on in the hotel, it's like, you haven't been into the shit because you don't have the 1,000 yards.
Yeah, because that was Payback who says that to him. Yeah. And they say one of the most racist jokes I've heard in a long time. I was like, wow, I forgot that joke was in this movie. Holy shit.
There? Oh wait, let me put us back.
I would not put that screen up. Just saying.
So the whole bit about what we get from this whole scene, or coming the few coming scenes, is the Tet offensive. It's the whole, they were lulling them to sleep
into safety because they had a technical ceasefire for the like, it's basically it's the version of the Chinese New Year. Yeah, it's like it's one of their biggest holidays. So they figured, well, they're going to keep the ceasefire going, and but then the Tet offensive happens.
Yeah, and they even mention it. We at like this base has got it like very, very easy. Most of the other bases got it fucking hard. They hit him really, really hard. And that's one of the things I like. They don't teach us the Vietnam War history because what's it to us, right? But for you guys, I don't know how much how much they teach you in school, but Tet offensive is one of the like staples. So everything changes
in so many. Well, like it was the catalyst in the war, but it's also one of the last big pushes of the Viet Cong during the war too. In many ways, it's very comparable to the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah, but I don't think there were like crazy gains on either side after this. So there was the big offensive.
Not really, yeah.
And then a little bit of a pushback, and then they like I don't want to get too into it, but the American army literally invaded into Laos and Cambodia and to do like a full-on switch around and get behind the lines, which oddly enough did not work because the Laos people did not like that at all.
Yes. Paul, you're exactly right. Cronkite made it. Yep.
They even I think they mentioned Cronkite a little bit
Yes,
when
they
they
do.
did the second briefing.
Because it was because during the second briefing, he even said Cronkite saying that we've already lost the war.
Yeah.
Because didn't even say like, oh wait, Anne Margaret's not coming.
Yeah. Who was Anne Margaret?
She's an actress.
Just is it?
And personality,
thought
yeah.
For some reason, it's like a royalty. It's like, why would a royalty, the British royalty, would be there?
No.
From like,
And what's also interesting too is, has anybody ever learned anything about trying to invade Vietnam ever? I mean, did we not learn a lesson from the French or the Chinese or
or
don't don't go into Vietnam. Seriously, it's like going into Afghanistan.
yeah,
Nobody ever wins.
I was gonna say when we cover Rambo 3.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss why America went into Afghanistan in 2001 and George W. Bush has not seen Rambo 3, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to go political, but holy shit, have you not seen the movie? God damn.
Yeah.
You can't take on a full helicopter with a tank.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Doesn't work.
So we have
It's literally them getting deployed deep into hostile territory to Kuwait City, and on the way we kind of discussed
have the doorman. Yeah.
I haven't looked at the credits about his name. I don't remember if they even say his name.
Yes, it's Tim Colseri, but that's the actor, but they never actually give him a name. He's just known as the door gunner. That's it.
Yeah, and like we said, he literally guns down women, children, basically civilians. It's farmers and stuff.
Yeah.
However, they have the pointy hat, so they must be enemies.
Well, he said, what does he say? If they're running, they're Viet Cong. If they're standing still, they're very very stalwart Viet Cong, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, rhetorical those right. Like that's all the part of the what is that? The VFA.
What the Bob Hope thing?
Hope thing, yeah,
where he went to deal with the troops. But I think they kind of mentioned Anne Margaret without mentioning Jane Fonda, which Jane Fonda went there not to entertain the troops.
Oh no, that's what it is, Paul. Yeah, it's well trained VC. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But I think Rafterman either almost gags and pukes or he actually pukes.
No, he keeps dry heaving. That's all
dry
he does.
Heaving. Yeah, dry heaving. So, but he's like, and Joker's like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
And Joker also has another kind of, it's one of the series of like moral dilemmas. He doesn't tell the gunner to actually stop. He just asks him what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's right, Paul. Hanoi Jane. Even me, I remember that.
Yeah, that was. What a talk about a ballsy move. That's.
Yeah. So they get to meet with the is it the company commander? Not even the platoon commander. It's not.
So that's touchdown.
That's actually touchdown. Because he played Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame, yep.
Yeah. And we get literally Joker is. I want to get to. I know Cowboy's in this outfit. I want to get to the thing. So he tells him a little bit of what's going on, which to me is sort of an exposition jump.
Well, then they talk about they mentioned the civilians, the civilian casualties, and they actually go to where there is a mass grave.
Yeah.
And the colonel walks up to Joker and points at his.
I'll get to exactly that point.
Button.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is. I thought this scene is,
I thought it was a funny story about the duality of man, sir. What's that? The duality of man.
It's like you know the yin yang stuff. It's like, are you a commie?
It's like, are you one of us, son?
Yeah. And this to me, this is the epitome of Kubrick's not anti-war but anti-establishment stuff. So you get the general that is like what you would expect someone from high-ranking stuff to act all the time in front of press, in front of the GIs, in front of everybody, right? To be like full, red-blooded American. Not really. So be full-on military front, I would say. I don't know how to describe it. He is the military and the U.S. government all wrapped up into one colonel. He's not even a general. He's a colonel.
Paul, you beat me to that point that I wanted to tell Meph, but
go ahead.
Yeah. That's the rebel general.
That's the rebel general from The Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's like, I thought you would have known that, to be honest.
Look. Let's just.
You're such a big Star Wars fan. I was like, Meph's gonna know this. So
I don't know. I didn't know the name of Bib Fortuna until like the 2005s or something. I'm not even joking. I didn't know he has a name.
Okay.
But seen the movie many times, and it was my favorite of the tree. Am I Irish? No, of the three, it was my favorite for a very, very long time. Yeah. Didn't know his name. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? So the fact that he's talking about, he literally sounds smarter than the colonel. It's like, yeah, I have the Born to Kill and the Peace Nine, and I think it's sort of a, the dichotomy of man. It's like, it's literally, son, are you high? You could replace whatever he said with, son, are you high? And it would work either way, at least to me.
I was thinking more of he's a communist, but yeah.
Does say communist. And then he meets up with the guys. But we're gonna do a stop here, right? Before we dive in deep into Adam Baldwin's balls, I guess. All right, let's do a second segment.
Just a side note, real quick.
Okay, cool.
Do you know who was? I wanted to save it to this point. Do you know who was offered to play the role of Animal Mother but turned it down?
Who?
Arnold.
It would have been great.
He turned it down because he was making The Running Man. Yeah.
Damn it. He would have been great. It would have been an iconic role. By the way, I know we said we stop. Is it or is it not Animal Mother the same role as he had? I don't remember the full name. Is it something Jane in Firefly?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same role in Firefly.
Jane's a little more, I would say, less threatening than Animal Mother.
Yes, less threatening, but
a little less intense, but the same kind of attitude.
We'll call it a bravado.
In many ways, too, Adam Baldwin also had a role in another Joss Whedon project, Angel, but he actually plays kind of the same kind of role, but in a corporate sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I see what you're going through.
Kind of top tight cast a little bit, but
maybe. All right, we're gonna do our second game of the night. You know it, you love it. It's Screen Fighter.
Round 1, fight.
Screen Fighter is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good, both of them are bad, we fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with your significant other. We've got two movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in and ba-blam? Tough choice.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Tough choice all around. Boys and girls in the chat, tell me which movie will you watch?
Beth, you're going to go first on this.
I'm going to go first
Yeah.
because I picked this. I'm going to watch The Terminator. Even though It's not as good as T2, Judgment Day. And I love Blade for so many reasons. One of them is we covered it, but because we covered it, appreciate it even more. I would go with the Terminator because I don't think Blade would even be a thing if Terminator, in terms of action, writing, technical, like trying to achieve the utmost effects, trying to achieve the effects part of it rather than the story part of it, I would go Terminator.
Well, technically, you already have the votes, but I'm gonna go with Blade because you know my
Always
love for
go with
comics.
your heart.
So,
Always. Your heart
well,
is Blade.
I do think Terminator is overall a better movie. I have way more fun with Blade,
All right. Cool.
but Terminator won due to
Yeah.
votes.
Chat says no.
You got 3-2. So
Real says Blade. We got Paul says we got Terminator. We got DK says Terminator. It's Terminator. And now it's a free for all. The first one, I kind of,
oh God, yes! Are you kidding me? Oh, 100% one of the best B movie horror films of all time. And I know you have never seen it.
Dreams May Come. I have seen it. I've definitely seen it.
No, it's about Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
No, I'm saying, have you seen What Dreams May Come?
Yes, it's
I have
bad.
seen it. It's fucking awful, but it's not trying to be a B movie. Killer Clowns from Outer
Outer
Space.
Space. Oh, Killer Clowns from Outer Space knows exactly what it is, and it's
unabashedly a B movie, a horror B movie.
it is so
fucking
fantastically good.
so good. I haven't watched it in a while. It's so goddamn good.
It's up there with the Trauma films. That's how much
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Ah.
City of God. I think you haven't seen it, right? And hand job.
No, I've seen it, but it's just like, yeah, what I want to turn on and watch on a Friday afternoon for kicks. I want to watch City of God.
Right. Give me your pick and tell me why. If you want me to start, I'll start.
Go ahead.
Okay. So City of God is a way better film than Hand Job. Like, way better written.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though it's a tragic story, it's way better than the story you get in Hancock. However, if it's just these two in a vacuum, fuck yeah, I would watch Hancock. I mean,
yeah.
Good job. Damn, that movie's so fucking
dumb.
awful.
It's so dumb.
Delightful. It's so dumb.
It's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
That and the inevitable premise too, where he's essentially an immortal that's better. Like,
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It does not work. However, it wins on technicality. Right. Monsters, Inc. or Bridget Jones' Diary. Both came out same year. Two completely different movies. Two completely different audiences.
That's a very interesting Japanese poster for Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yep. It's the original one. And they kept they tried to match the fonts as well. Paul's like, I hate Bateman. Paul, look at me, Paul. Look at me. I'm going to put me on full screen, okay? So look at me deep into my eyes. Deep into my eyes, Paul. Deep. I hate Bateman too. Really, really bad.
It's not that bad of a guy.
Monsters, Inc. or Bridget Jones' Diary?
I have to say, I would still have to go with Monsters Inc. because I really like Billy Crystal in it.
I actively dislike Bridget Jones' Diary. I've seen it 3 times, I think. I hate
Well,
Hugh
that's
Grant in
an
it.
easy one.
I hate fucking Pierce in it. The only thing I like, and this is just me personally, the way Renee Zellweger looks in that movie is much better than any other movie that she did. Chubby Renee Zellweger, which is basically just not thin one, is way better than the Skeletor that she was in every other movie except for Jerry Maguire. Last pairing, boys and girls. Meet the Fockers or Dawn of the Dead. That's the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's the Zack Snyder version. Which one will I know which one you will
It's a
pick.
weird Japanese poster one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think that's the I'm not sure. Maybe it's the Rob Zombie version. I'm not sure.
No, there wasn't. There was never a Rob Zombie one. No, that's the reprise that was done of George A. Romero's classic. But this is when they made all of them fast zombies. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Dawn of the Dead because it was actually mildly fun for a remake of a new of a horror classic. And I think it was actually one of the best reprisals of a horror classic. The extra hidden scene of the boat was interesting.
I admit I haven't seen the full movie. I just didn't like it. I'm not a horror guy.
Well, because funny, you know how when we watched we watched
The original Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah. Well, what's funny, they actually did end up having the whole bit with the mall and everything included in there.
Okay.
So I just
It's been a long, long time, but I've only watched pieces of it, like the start a little bit.
Yeah, yes, that's the Ving Rhames version. Yes.
Okay. I really don't remember
just,
who's in the movie.
Just after the first Meet the Parents, they should have just stopped there because it just kept getting just cringier and cringier and cringier.
Jesus. The next pair is Wally and Night in the Museum, and we all know it's Wally.
Actually, I was gonna go with Night in the Museum because I like Robin Williams.
No,
I like Robin Williams as Teddy Roosevelt.
Can't stand the movie. Robin Williams does not save it. I had a poll going. What's Ben Stiller's like your favorite Ben Stiller performance? And I gave 4. It's like Tropic Thunder, Dodgeball. I don't remember the rest of them. Along came Paulie, and I think Zoolander.
Yeah, it's either be Zoolander or Tropic Thunder.
A lot of people's like, what about Night in the Museum? It's like, are you kidding me? More than Dodgeball? Have you not seen Dodgeball? Have you not seen fucking, I don't know. Oh, not Zoolander. I purposefully.
You made me bleed my own blood.
No. I've purposefully not put Zoolander in. I put in Reality Bites, which is basically his first role.
Wow.
But nobody knows the movie.
Because that was with
why didn't you put Zoolander?
Wasn't Janine Garofalo in that?
Janine Garofalo, Winona Ryder.
Was it Matt Dillon in that too?
Not Billy Zane. The other Zane guy. Chris Zane. Adam Zane. One of the Zanes. Not Billy Zane.
Well, no, actually, Rhetorical Thrill is another good one. Something About Mary. I mean, there's
something about Mary. But like I said, I had a lot of comments like, what about Zoolander? It's like, this is what the comment section is all about. I've got only 4 things, and I wanted to have like a variety. Yeah, but Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers, not even close. Not even like Night in the Museum, definitely not even close. But people love that movie, dude. A lot of people, from the.
Well, you have to remember, this is from YouTube, so there's a lot of Zoomers out there.
A lot of Zoomers out there. There's a lot of people out there. All right, cool. Next, the hotel. I want to get to a specific spot. So there is that altercation with Animal Mother, kind of the introduction. We see him joining forces back on with Joker, and Joker is literally introducing everybody else. Not Joker, a Cowboy introducing everybody else to Joker. When got that altercation, basically a verbal altercation between Animal Mother and Joker. Joker goes into his John
Wayne
Wayne
spiel.
to kind of make a little bit of levity in this whole thing. But I wanted to get to when Rafterman.
That's not Raptor Man.
No, Rafterman is taking the pictures.
Yeah.
This. And this guy's like, I want you to meet my friend. It's like,
no, and the line that he says, his whole bit there is just like, it's chilling.
yeah, go ahead.
Because
I
don't have. I just had the last line. The last line that he says is like, "We're gonna miss not having anyone worth shooting at."
That's grim dark. By the way, it's the same guy. Remember, there's a shot later where they kind of get into an ambush and they shoot up this whole factory. You said it's a factory. It looks like a factory. They shoot up the whole factory and everybody runs from the side door.
He waits for the
second wave. He guns them down. And then he's like, "Oh, I got him." He smiled, and he got the It was like
it's right into the bird.
Like, oh shit, this is like awful. And that's the same guy.
Well, what's odd too is how they were when they move in to the city square. The mine goes off, and one guy just dead.
Yeah, and the moment when they're moving into the actual war part, when you see them going in rank and file and with tanks in front of them and everything, and everything kind of explodes all around. Everybody lays down. The touchdown is literally just standing there and immediately full of holes, like immediately from the shrapnel. It goes down, and that's how stuff goes. That's how easy it goes. It's sad,
oddly, I think that's what is the best and most poignant thing about the film. Because what Rhetorical Throw mentioned before, because when she mentioned that when she was watching this, she thought that Pyle was actually the protagonist of the film.
Yeah.
And moving on, dead. With Touchdown, you're like, oh, this is a named character. He's not. Oh, he's dead. 8-Ball. What happens with 8-Ball? Dead. Doc J. What happens with Doc J? Dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it happened.
Remember, this is a war.
Yeah. Let me get to
and we have the everybody back where they bury Touchdown and someone else who had died there, and then it was Raptor Man who goes, well, at least they died for a good cause. And Animal was like, and you think they died for a good cause? This isn't a war, but we're here to commit slaughter. That's what we're here for.
This whole shot where it's sort of like the one thing I thought about was that 70s show where there's a camera in the middle and it goes out to the four guys. However, this is shot from below
and up to their face. Yeah,
so the people who are dead literally are the ones who's looking at the live, and it goes like from one to another, and each one of them has a comment about the dead, and Mother says, "Better you than
him than me,"
which is, again, it's not a. I'm looking for the anti-war political statements that Kubrick puts in all of his movies.
Because it's right after this when they have the film crew doing the interviews. That's where you really get the anti-war rhetoric.
Yeah, so the whole scene starts with the camera crew just recording everybody, and then it moves on to them looking at the two bodies just before you see, and then you get the interview, so you get a little bit more.
I did forget that the other guy was called Handjob. I forgot that.
Yes.
And there was the whole line about him where he was getting Sectioned 8 because he was having too much fun with himself on a daily basis.
Yeah, literally. That's Cowboy's line, and it's literally Cowboy and 8-Ball talking about. Yeah, he literally masturbated 10 times a day. He couldn't help himself.
And he started doing it in the office in the waiting room to see the shrink. Yeah.
And he was literally waiting for his papers to like get pushed through, and then he dies.
He gets sent home. Yeah.
That's some fucked up luck right there. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Forehand job.
So many ways like that.
See, thank you, Thrill. Forehand job.
Yeah, this became really a kind of an ongoing trope where it also got adapted into cop films. It was like, oh, this guy, he's 1 day away from retirement. This is his last day on the force, and he gets shot.
Yeah. So we get, after this whole, they look at the bodies and give their sort of statements about death rather than the war itself. You get
there's also like their complete disillusionment, especially like 8-Ball, I think, has one of the best lines. Like, well, we're here supposed to be here helping these people, and they spit on us. They treat us like garbage. Like,
here, yeah.
Why are we here? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, and it's not. Again, I don't want to go deep into race relations because there is racial tension there under the surface, especially. Yes. It comes in like full on in respect later, but I'm saying the whole point of the black man going to fight a white man's war. He doesn't say it, but it's like, why are we fighting here when they don't want us here? Which is actually true. They didn't really want them there because, you know, there's a whole rigmarole with this whole fucking war. And they still debate it till today. Why were we there? Why the Gulf of Tonkin? Blah, 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 all that shit.
Yeah.
Rehashing old shit. And also a little bit, like I said, I'm always with Kubrick, always looking for that anti-establishment kind of, oh, you've done this, we don't approve, or I don't approve. As Stanley Kubrick, I don't approve of what you did. And then we got the sort of the interviews, and then the interviews, you would expect Animal Mother to be more, you know, verbose or being anti-war, or why are we doing this, blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, I'm here, I'm killing people.
Well,
he have an opinion.
I mean, the man has a line from the Bhagavad Gita written on his helmet.
Yeah,
it's the Oppenheimer line. I am become death.
I am become death. Yeah. Really, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me have that shot. It's like, we should win. It's like, we're here. We need to win. He really doesn't have an opinion other than we need to like do this.
This is more like to him, for lack of a better term or a better phrase, it's like this is a football game to him.
Yeah.
Where I'm on my team and my team has to win, and that's it.
And that's basically his whole character in a nutshell. And it comes up later when he's being defiant. However, he's being defiant in order to achieve that specific goal, right? He goes into the fire because he wants to win.
Well, no, he's going into the fire to try to save 8-Ball and Doc J.
Yes. But overall,
yeah,
that's the same. That it accomplishes the same goal.
I got you.
We can't leave anybody behind because we need everybody to win this.
Yes. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, then from there, then we have the
second hooker thing,
the motorbike hooker, which Paul put it like, no, brother, tu boku.
Yeah, tu boku. Yeah, tu boku. I mean, didn't he get it from like this? But he still pushes it, right? And at a certain point, she relents to go with 8-Ball.
Well, no, Well, no, he pulls it out. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's just say when it's not fully erect, it's completely different size. Hey, she relents. She relents. They even argue about the money, right? It's like
Well, they always argue about the $15. $15. No.
No, $5.
No, $15 to Boku.
To Boku.
$5. No,
I love that.
$5. No.
I love that line, by the way. No boom boom with Soul Brother. Again, it's with this whole rigor, this whole war, this carnage that's going around them. When it's resting time, it's levity time.
But could you imagine though that 8-Ball being portrayed by Denzel Washington?
I don't know.
A very, very young Denzel Washington too.
Yeah, I know. So 8-Ball kind of, they move past this, and she says yes. So she starts to go in. Animal Mother.
Mother goes,
like,
I'm going first.
I'm first. And he mentions that, let's say, the brothers need to be waiting at the back and let the white man do it first. And it's like, you fuck. Like, you're in the field. He's your brother. Like, real brother in arms. And you treat him like this, you fuck.
Well, he said some other shit that was pretty bad too. Between like they were sitting there at the campsite when they first.
I know, but that was like banter to me. To me, that was.
Well, it's the same kind of banter. It's just taken to another level. That's all.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like you need to pull the banter at this level. Animal Mother just went just a tad more. It's like, you didn't need to do that, motherfucker. Yeah. But
so
hey, it's just another facet of Animal Mother as a character, rather than just having a full-blown statement. He didn't make a statement there. It was just the continuation, just going, which the tad too far.
Yeah, that's fair.
A tad too far. I don't even care what he said, is what he meant. That's what I'm saying. Right. So
we move into the
part.
assault on that, and moving into the sniper scene. And at first, then it's their commanding officer walks in and falls for the booby trap.
Yeah, he falls for a booby trap. Then Cowboy gets to be the commanding officer, and they make a navigational mistake. They go too far in one direction, and they have to circle back.
And who it's not who Cowboy contacts, because before when they try to contact, it was a different hotel. This is when they actually contact hotel there. Who Cowboy is talking to, that voice, that's Kubrick.
You mean Murphy is Kubrick?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is fun.
So he asks for a tank patrol, or no, he asked for a tank after 8-Ball gets shot. Yeah, he asked for a tank after 8-Ball gets shot. But he's like, Murphy, we're just a bit off course. We need to circle back. Don't worry. Just know that we're doing this thing. And 8-Ball kind of goes into this lane of torn down buildings and gets clipped by.
Well, the thing is too is he almost walks directly into the open, which is like,
yeah,
should never do that.
He goes straight between the building instead of just leaning. However,
or actually like moving from cover to cover as you should do.
Yeah,
in a war zone.
The where he was shot was it's like a plaza. There's no buildings to take cover with. Even if he would have ran from building to building, he might have been clipped anyway.
Wouldn't you think anybody would have gotten any kind of suppressing fire though? At least to try to.
No, because the plaza itself was inside. There's no way to get there. There's no way. You see it when so 8-Ball gets clipped. They're like,
Well,
they don't know what to do because all of them are not actual officers. They're just like sergeants or whatever.
well, no. I'm just saying what's interesting is then because given that context, how Doc J goes out and Doc J gets clipped too, but how did Animal Mother get out there without getting clipped? And he almost gets shot because he's behind cover and he gets it wings the cover that he's sitting on.
It's really hard to get. I need to get to a specific point.
So-
You can see it.
I'm being nitpicky and pedantic for the sake of it, just because it's just like, is that a potential plot hole or Kubrick?
No, that's actually not. But the point of this is the way he shot this is really hard to grasp the angles, especially when you watch this for the very first time. I know it's super boring. There's two buildings. They hear a guy fall between those two, and they shoot at the surface of the buildings. The sniper does not even come. She is not even there, right? He's not even on those buildings. It's the building behind those buildings. That's the problem. You don't see when they shoot it. They don't see the entire shots. Anyway, okay. So 8-Ball gets in, Doc gets in, and then it's like Animal Mother.
By the way, Meph, I had to bring that up.
What?
And once you actually see my notes, I'm like, Meph is going to hate this. I have it. She
I don't hate it. It's not. If you want to know where the sniper is, and if you don't know,
I know you hate it when I point out little nitpicky things. So that's why I just had to say it. So,
okay.
Anyway,
I got it. You fuck. He's not there. And he's not there. He's actually right here, where you see my cursor. She is right here, but you don't see the building. You don't see the hotel or whatever it is. You don't see it. And the plaza is there. Inside. You'd have to go around this building to go to this building. Never mind.
okay.
So they do the full. They flank around, right? They flank around, and they get to a point where, there's a building where the hotel is right there, the sniper is right there, but there's an opening right here. And when Cowboy goes to, contact Murphy, he gets shot dead in the chest, and you can see the vantage point from the sniper, like zooming in, just so you'll see what's going on and how cover is actually important for them. He gets shot, and then we get something that we didn't expect. We get to see
It's a fun little
2001: Space Odyssey.
accidental homage. Yeah. Or Kubrick called it a happy accident.
Happy accident. Now, I mentioned this whole thing last week. You were not there. Shame on you. No, just kidding. I was like, oh, by the way, we're watching Full Metal Jacket. We're going to get to see the monolith again. And Lofty was like, huh? It's like, pay attention, Lofty. And there it is.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! There's the monolith from 2001.
Well, and Kubrick has said constantly that, oh no, this was just an accident. This was not done on purpose. Like, Kubrick.
I think I said it when we talked backstage. Kubrick is a master manipulator when it comes to talking to the press. Yes. When he says something accidentally happened, or no, it didn't happen like this, or no, we didn't meant it, you don't know if it's actually true or he's actually trolling the press. You do not know. My bet is the fact that, yes, he meant to put it there because something else is there that I didn't notice. I'm going to give you a picture from 2001. This is the Stargate moment, the moment where Bowman kind of leaps into his sort of that room.
Yeah.
You see the diamond shapes.
Yep.
The diamond shapes are here, and they are there in a lot of Kubrick's work. We're going to talk about it when we talk about this in The Shining and also in Clockwork Orange as well.
Yeah.
There.
That's really prevalent in The Shining.
Absolutely there. And by the way, also in Eyes Wide Shut as well.
Yes.
Okay? So the diamond shapes, like what diamonds? Where do you see diamonds, Meph? Easy. Same place where you see the monolith. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
And also they appear when the second hooker comes in. We talked about this just moments ago. They're sitting around and they're arguing. Behind them, there's a door with that same pattern. So it's crisscross, but it makes a pattern of a diamond as well.
Yep. Well, and there's also again there is the Shining reference that was earlier too, which it's way earlier in the film, but yeah, the room number.
The room number
is mentioned. Yeah, it's brought up. It's a really blink and you'll miss it. Just reference number. Yeah.
I've missed it.
Yeah.
So they flank around the building. Animal Mother kind of takes over for Cowboys. Like, okay, we are getting this sniper. Like, this guy is going to die because he owes us for 8 Ball. He owes us for Dr. Jane. He owes us for Cowboy. We're done. And by this point, Joker is all the way. Up to this point, Joker was like on shaky ground. Rafterman was already there. And it comes to a head because Joker finds the sniper, tries to take a shot, jammed gun, or he was out of bullets or something. He didn't reload, I think.
No, he dropped his rifle out of apprehension because this is where he's actually facing someone in combat, and then he's like, "Oh no!" Then he picks up
and he pulls out his pistol to get a good shot. However, Rafterman goes from the other side, guns down the sniper, and we kind of see that it's not a male sniper, it's a female sniper. Not only that, they are very, very young.
They're a child, yeah.
They are very, very young. And now we have a moral dilemma.
Well, what's interesting too is what Joker confuses and says, like, "Oh, she's praying." No, she's not.
Masterfully shot. Yes, I agree. Yes. I agree. It slowed down a little bit because the action itself is like super fast. So Kubrick, it's kind of slowing it down for us to make a dramatic effect, to make like sort of a thrilling effect. It's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Rafterman comes in at the very last minute because, things happen and saves the day. And now we've got a dilemma. And again, we get the shot of the us looking at the body, but the body is looking back at us.
Well, what's interesting too is Joker says, Joker says, "Oh, she's praying." No, she's not. You know what she's saying, right?
Yeah, kill me.
No, she's saying so much pain. So much pain. Then you say, "Tu mo, kill me. Kill me." And finally she says, she is able to say, "Shoot me. Shoot me."
And the dilemma is shoot her and be merciful, or leave her and let her die with pain.
Because what Animal Mother says, so I would say viciously, is no, let her rot and let the rats eat her.
Yeah. That's the moral dilemma. Now it harkens back to do I hit Gomer Pyle with the soap or not? Because the consequences of him being merciful is being ostracized. Mm-hmm. In this one, there's no, in terms of the crew, there's no moral obligation to the crew. They can accept him shooting her, and they can accept him not shooting her, and it won't affect his status with the group or with the tribe or whatever you want to call it, with his core. Not his core, I mean his core.
Well, what's interesting too is Animal Mother takes his objection to just leaving her there as an affront, like he's trying to take over command. And Joker's saying, "No, I don't want command. We should not leave her like this."
Yeah. I didn't notice it when I first watched it, but the music gets louder and louder and it just hard stops. That's very Kubrick.
Yeah, very Kubrick.
Very, very Kubrick.
We're going to see that a lot in The Shining and especially in Clockwork Orange. Oh,
A lot of people imitated that style to make a dramatic effect, but Kubrick, it's his milieu.
It's in his oeuvre.
Yeah, yes. It's his thing. He loves doing that to hype you up, and it works on your general like vibe. You feel the goosebumps coming in, and he's increasing that, and at the moment of decision, hard stop, and then we have a decision for there or for there. This time, he shoots. He's being merciful as opposed to not being merciful to Private Pyle. That's my opinion, of course.
Which in also so many ways too, all the squad mates too, they are kind of condemning but also praising him, where they're like, "Oh, that was," again, one of them remarks how that was cold-blooded, man. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That was cold-blooded.
Yeah. But also it's like, was it though? Thought it'd be crueler to leave her alive. More cold-blooded would just be to walk away.
Yeah, cold-blooded.
To let her bleed out.
Fuck you, bitch. Rot. Leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then we have.
Like I said, there's no moral repercussion within the group. So whichever way he would decide, I think they would say the same thing. Now, if he would have, okay, let's leave. It's like, ooh, you are cold-hearted son of a bitch. Same deal. Yeah. Same deal. And then so, we get the most weirdest scene ever. And I don't have an opinion about, well, I do have an opinion now about this. You need to explain it to me. The Mickey Mouse Club
march scene.
Chant.
What's so interesting is the fact that was not supposed to be used.
Interesting. Talk to me, Goose.
What they were actually supposed to be doing was whistling the theme song from the Woody Woodpecker cartoon.
Which would be the same?
But Kubrick couldn't get the rights to it in time.
No, really?
Yeah.
You know, Mickey Mouse and Woody Woodpecker are completely different icons, right?
Yes, I know.
Who owns Woody Woodpecker?
I believe it's now Warner Brothers. I think it's because I think that was under Tex Avery, which I still think he was still in contract with Warner Brothers at the time.
Are you sure it's not Hanna-Barbera?
Well, Hanna-Barbera was owned by Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay. So it's definitely Warner Brothers. It is a Warner Brothers movie. I'm using this copy I'm using here is a 4K.
That could have been that it had to have been under Tex Avery before he ended up selling all the rights to Warner Brothers. Then,
so how come they're chanting the Mickey Mouse Club chant?
Because it's supposed to be the.
To me, it fits way more.
What the Mickey Mouse Club march?
Yeah, equating Disney with absolute carnage and war.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, we don't need to go into. Oh God.
No, but it epitomizes to me. No. Let's put aside my opinions. Do you not think Mickey Mouse, Coca-Cola, and Nike epitomizes the U.S.?
Well, American culture. Well, yeah. Well, at that point in time, yeah, that's why it would be so interesting for them to be whistling the theme song for. Yeah, it would have worked better. Trust me. And there are also some deleted scenes in a director's cut that actually have the whistling scene in there, and it is hauntingly darker than them doing the Mickey Mouse march. But given from what you said, they're both American icons, and for them to say like, yes, we won, we're Americans, we're now bringing our culture in.
Yes.
And we're reveling in, like, look at the destruction we caused too. We're reveling in it.
And you know where we've seen this before? Not before, much after. Opening scene of Team America World Police. This is what happens in my head. It's like we covered this. However, this happened in my head a long time ago. It's like we Americans, we come in, we blow shit up for freedom. This is the perception. And this is why I said Kubrick is not anti-war per se. He's anti-establishment. Mm-hmm. The establishment causes war.
Very much so. Yeah.
And singing this Mickey Mouse clubhouse theme. It's like, this is the most American shit you can ever do, unless you're singing, I don't know, it's equivalent to them walking and singing the McDonald's fucking song. I'm not kidding. It's literally them. It could be the McDonald's credo, whatever you want to call it.
All I'm thinking of now is Doorman shooting outside there, hitting somebody, looking up, going, "I'm loving it."
But yeah, it's them on Rubbles singing the most, I don't know, the most corporate song ever. So you can tell, we know which country you are, even though it's dark and you're wearing typical military clothing that could be anyone's clothing, and getting this is like Team America World Police. This is
Paul. That's a perfect side reference.
Demolition Man has the same themes right at the start.
Yep.
Right at the start.
Hey, but Taco Bell is the epitome of haute cuisine in the future. You just have to keep that in mind, okay?
And
I don't take your Pizza Hut commie version into consideration, Mephisto.
European version. No, I'm saying you see the Demolition Man explosions and burning and fucking destruction at the start, and then once the world has progressed, you see the show tunes. It's equivalent to the show tunes you hear on the radio.
Yeah.
Armor hot dogs. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of brings us to the end of today's show. And it's 2 hours. Holy shit, I didn't even notice that. Mm-hmm. Right. Enjoyed this movie again. Enjoy is kind of harsh when it comes to Kubrick, but reappreciate it. It's, again, one of my favorite Kubrick movies ever. I think it's give it a 3 out of the series, where 2010 is the lowest one, I think.
No, Eyes Wide Shut for me is
Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you know what?
That's not a good movie.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I would say maybe. Yeah. Okay, you got me there, because I did enjoy about 45 minutes of 2001. I did not enjoyed, but not story-wise enjoy. I enjoyed what I saw, didn't enjoy the actual story. Yeah. Anyway, let's put that aside. I enjoyed the movie very much. Enjoyed rewatching it again. Got a different take again, because I'm older, I'm wiser, and I'm trying to watch this more critically. So cinematically, I've kind of picked up on a few things. thematically, I picked up on different things, and generally speaking, was again. I'm sorry we didn't get you on Thrill. You know, internet being internet, sometimes it fucks up.
That's fine. We'll figure it out another time.
We'll figure it out, and we'll get you to watch another movie for the first time, because that's what we do here on the Reel McCoy podcast. How about you? Any new takes that you got from this, or just got reminded of stuff that you already know and just
just reminded of things. Again, doing some of the research again. The Rolling Stones note I thought was just like one of the most mind blowing things that I ever read. I was like, what? Okay, that's interesting. I thought it was, again, I still think it's a fantastic film. I think that a lot of the anti-war rhetoric is really more. It's more subtle in this film than it is apparently, like, especially in a Platoon or Apocalypse Now, where it is in your face.
Yeah, much more in your face. That's what I do. I know that's what you do. No, we wanted you here.
I still believe that it's still one of Kubrick's best films. We're reviewing actually my two favorites coming up, so.
It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, and also you thought this podcast is going to be a long one. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Strap in. Next week's going to be a really long one.
I know. So next week we invite you to go and watch The Shining. We're going to watch with our special guest, Horror Amarada, coming back in. She said she already read the book.
I actually have two. I have a full 3 pages of notes of what's different between the book and the film.
Oh, brother, where art thou? I'm gonna sit back.
It's gonna be a long one.
Enjoy the ride, and just maybe trying to keep us on the rails, so we can finish it in about less than 2.5 hours. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Shelley Duvall, Jack Nicholson, and I don't remember what else. Probably somebody really famous that I forgot. The Shining, 1980s. Watch it. You can watch it in Amazon. You can watch it on Hulu. You can watch it on Netflix, I think. Depending on.
I don't think so, but I know if you're in this.
Actually, no. No, not Netflix. I think you can get it on Apple TV though.
I think you actually still might be able to watch it on Tubi for free, but with ads. But
for free, that's pretty good.
I mean, like, Full Metal Jacket was on there just yesterday. So.
Yes, Paul, I've noticed you, senpai. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end. From me to you. Next week. Oh, by the way, next week, you American fucks are switching over to daylight savings time.
Yes.
We don't. So I don't know when exactly the American time for the next 2 weeks will be. I have no idea. Probably 1 hour before or 1 hour.
It'll be 1 hour early.
Early, right? So it will be 2 p.m. Eastern, I think.
Yes.
And 1 p.m. Central for the next couple of weeks. But
no, I'm sorry. No, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. It'll be 4 o'clock.
It should be 4 o'clock. I really don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it during the week, and we'll get the schedule figured out.
Once it goes live, so once it goes public, you can adjust because the time always appears locally on YouTube. Okay, so for me, it will always be 10 o'clock at night. For you guys, it's in the afternoon. And adjust. And is it some states don't even move to daylight savings time?
Yes, correct.
Which ones? Like Utah doesn't move, or Colorado? So I really don't know. So check it out. Check the channel out. And of course, by the way,
we won't get into it.
Give our girl Rhetorical Thrill, who was here in the chat, give her a follow, give her a sub. Enjoy her movie reactions. They're actually pretty good. And if you want to interact with the show, I'm not going to put on my Twitter, but email the show at thereelmccoypodcast@gmail.com. And we are out of here. No.
Sound production, take
You're still here? It's over. Go home.